As you know, I love playing chess. And so when I saw that there was a blitz tournament during the Swedish Chess Championship, I thought, let's go ahead and play this. So this was round 1 of the Blitz Swedish Chess Championship, and I was playing a guy called Daniel. And I was very excited because I had just finished a game, and when you finish a game, you kind of just want to play more chess. That's at least how I feel. So he played g3 here, and he was going to get his bishop out, and I was, trying to get my knight out. I was trying to think about what sort of position do I want to have, and I said, I'm going to be the most solid person ever. I'm going to do the little triangle of pawns where you just keep everything absolutely protected. I put on my glasses because I always forget to put them on before the game, and then I realize I don't see anything. And I started thinking, okay, so what is my plan? So I got my bishop out, and he did the same. I castled. Everything was very normal. He castled as well. And here I started thinking, where should my light squared bishop go? It does look like it's a bit of a disaster at this moment. But first and foremost, where does my knight go? So, of course, in chess, you want to finish development as quickly as possible. Now, this game was not going to be a game with many moves. In fact, this game was only going to last 29 moves. And many of those moves have already been made. So around 20 more moves this game was going to be. Anyways, I played c5, and when I went c5, the idea was that I wanted to create a better square for my knight. Potentially, I wanted to be able to fianchetto my bishop on that long diagonal. And he went d4, and I thought that he was playing really great. Like, this was a fantastic opening. I mean, I assumed that he was lower rated than me because I was playing him the first round, and I was one of the people in the upper half of the tournament, so you typically play someone from the lower half. But I was just thinking, okay, this guy is playing so well. Like, all his opening moves are fantastic. But anyways, I decided to take that pawn on c4, and now my plan was just that I thought that maybe I'm going to take his other pawn, and then his pawn on c4 is going to become a lonely pawn, an isolated pawn. So he did this very well. He realized this, and he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that pawn on c5 first. And I just thought, wow, that is incredible. So I traded queens, and we enter this endgame that looks relatively equal. However, I felt like I had a little bit of an edge because I'm going to be able to have these 2 pawns versus 1 on the queen side, which could potentially give me a bit of an edge in an endgame if we trade everything off. And he also has a weak pawn on b3 that I thought maybe I can start attacking, but this just felt like it was very equal, and I cannot believe that this game is going to end in just like 15 more moves or something, because it just feels like it's the most equal game ever right now. But these were blitz games, so we only had a few minutes on the clock, and fast decisions had to be made. So he decided to trade off his bishop for my knight to get me those double ugly pawns, the pawns that are difficult to defend. However, I was happy because I now had the bishop pair. So he brought out his knight, and I decided to bring out my knight too, and now I only had one problem, which was my bishop. I quickly defended my pawn, and I thought, okay, I don't hate this. Soon I'm gonna get my other bishop out, and when you have your 2 bishops working together in chess, typically they can create a lot of magic. So he was thinking now about what the plan is going to be, and I was thinking about the fact that I need to find a pawn push. So he went rook a4, and I was thinking, should I push my f pawn or should I push my e pawn? So should I attack his knight or should I open up for my bishop? But I decided to open up for my bishop because that b3 pawn looked very yummy, for lack of a better word to put it. And I really wanted to place my bishop on e6. It felt like the most incredible square for that bishop. So I went bishop there, and now look at that square the bishop is pointing to, which on b3 it would be threatening both of the rooks. So I was threatening right now to win a rook, and I was also threatening to win his pawn. So I thought that he's gonna be in some trouble now. Maybe he has to move his rook and defend the pawn. I wasn't sure, but I thought that he's probably gonna be in a bit of trouble. So he was thinking here for a bit, and he only had 30 seconds left here, and he ended up going knight c5, which was a mistake because I can take it and then go bishop b3, and now I was finally going to be able to win this rook. So I won that exchange, but the game was still far from over. I had to still convert this, although now I felt confident because now my pawns would be able to just roll, I felt like, and my rook was going to be incredible in this file. So I was looking a bit at the game next to me because that kid seemed to just be completely crushing it, and I was so impressed by that kid. I thought it was I thought it was so cool. I don't actually know who won the game. I think maybe he lost the game, I'm not sure, but anyways, I was still very impressed by that kid. Or maybe he won, I have no idea. It just looked like the kings were on the black squares. But yeah, anyways, I started pushing that pawn, and I really wanted that pawn to promote now. So his knight went back, and I thought that maybe it was because he wanted to open up for the bishop, but when the knight moved, I now had access to this incredible square I could place my rook in. And now that his pawn was pushed, I knew that his knight would struggle with getting out, and so now it was time for me to push that other pawn. So I took his bishop here, and he now only had a knight to defend with. And I spent here a little bit of time thinking, because I thought, is that really the place I want to go with my rook, or should I go rook c2? But then I ended up going there because I saw this idea of just chasing down his rook, and now I didn't see how he was going to be able to stop this. Here he, out of mistake, blundered the rook, and after a little bit of time thinking, I realized that his time had also gone down. So here he lost the game, we shook hands, and I reported the result. Now, I didn't want to tell you up until now, but his rating was actually only 1600, which I thought was so low in comparison to how well he played. Like, those first 15 or something moves, 15-20 moves were just better, and he was kind of outplaying me in the opening. He was playing fantastic. So I was really shocked when I saw that his rating was 1600. Like, what are they feeding the 1600s nowadays? Back in the day, okay, I'm 24, but still, back in the day, 1600s weren't good at chess. Today they are. So someone please answer the question. All right, I won this first game, but the tournament was still many games to go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this chess game, and good luck with your chess.